Everyone's Irish tonight. Why don't you just pull up a stool and have a drink with us?
Hey, welcome back everybody. My name is Isaiah and I am still just winging it. And today I felt like making a Guinness pint glass. Here's the dimensions I'm going to be working with. Not too big, about 6 inches. So get your clay and your tin foil and get to it. Now the pint glass is just going to be standing on its own, so we don't really need any armature wire or anything else to support it, other than a bunch of tin foil just kind of crammed, packed down upon itself. Looks pretty good. So with my experience in doing things like this with a solid tinfoil base or inside, you really want to make sure that it is jam-packed together. Otherwise, you might find that you have some soft spots. And remember to use some of that liquid Sculpey, like a glue, to help adhere that clay to the tinfoil. It helps with air pockets. So while researching Guinness for this particular sculpt, I actually found that back in 1759, a guy by the name of Arthur Guinness signed a 9,000-year lease on a disused brewery at St. James's Gate. Talk about a bold move, Cotton. Also, another kind of weird fact that I found was Guinness also used to use isinglass, which is a substance made from dried fish bladders, as a fining agent to clarify the beer, which means Guinness technically wasn't vegetarian or vegan until 2017, when they finally switched to a different filtration method. And it's, I don't know, kind of gross to think about, like how many people were drinking this beer and not realizing it was filtered with an animal byproduct. But anyway, I'm sure that there are some of you have probably seen maybe some old Guinness signs that said something along the lines of like Guinness is good for you, and it's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. But it actually was once prescribed as medicine in like the 1920s and 30s, with that slogan, Guinness is good for you. And it was even prescribed to pregnant women and post-surgery patients to help them recover. But of course, it wasn't actually good for you, and giving alcohol to sick or pregnant women is obviously dangerous. But also, the early versions of Guinness, especially the foreign stout, were much stronger, sometimes upwards of 7, 8% or more, which meant people were often drinking something more potent than they realized. Okay, so let's get away from like the sad and dark side of Guinness and talk about something different. Maybe like the pour. So there is a perfect Guinness pour that apparently takes around 120 seconds because there's a science to the pour. And if you ever order a Guinness in a pub, you'll notice that they don't give it to you right away. They pour about 3/4 of a glass at like a 45-degree angle and let it settle for about a minute. And during this time, the nitrogen bubbles fall downward while the beer clears from the bottom up, which creates that like awesome cascading effect. And then once that surge has settled and the beer is dark with like a creamy head on top, the bartender fills the rest of the glass straight down, and then that forms that smooth domed cream at the top of the glass. It's kind of an awesome way to do something like that. And another thing about the beer is like Guinness yeast is actually a closely guarded secret. It's descended from the actual yeast used in Arthur Guinness's time, and it's actually still used today. A portion of that yeast is locked in a safe, just in case the main supply is ever compromised. Okay, so what I'm doing now is actually applying a stencil for the word Guinness because I could not freehand for the life of me. And what I did was I just cut out the letters with an X-Acto knife and then just put it on there and used some gold leaf. And it kind of made an okay stencil. And then I just touched it up with some gold paint. Looks pretty good. And now we're getting into the final stages of this project where I inevitably always ruin one of my brushes because I am now going to coat this thing in a, well, heavy glaze of epoxy. And maybe you're wondering, well, why don't you just use a crappy brush? Well, I don't want to use a crappy brush that might have stuff in the bristles and then that's going to get stuck in the epoxy. So I have to use one of my good ones. So, okay, well, now it's done. What am I supposed to do with this piece? Well, that's when I asked my friend. Hey, you want to go to Ireland and drink a bunch of Guinness and then pass this off as a trophy to the best pub? And his response took all of 2 seconds. And that was the start of our gallon of Guinness pub crawl. Alright, so we're going to start off with McNeils. 2 Guinness here is going to cost you about €13. It's a little bit of a hole-in-the-wall place, but it's nice with a friendly bartender. The Guinness, it was okay. Number 2 on the list is the Oval Bar. 2 Guinness here, $13.60. Real fancy place, extravagant, well-kept, friendly staff, but at the same time I almost felt like I was going to have to pay a lot more for what I was getting. But I didn't have to, so it was pretty good. Number 3 was Mulligans, $14.60 for 2 Guinness, decent atmosphere, friendly bar staff, but you're not supposed to record inside. Whoops. Pub number 4, Bose. So Bose is going to run you $14.20 for 2 Guinness. It's not too fancy, but it's a comfortable place with chill music, and the Guinness had a nice cold temp, not tinny, and a good cream. Next up is Nearys, number 5. It's going to run you another $14.20 for 2 Guinness, cozy atmosphere, good, thick Guinness. However, no music. Kind of weird. Split it. Okay, so number 6 is the Snug. I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of a weird vibe about this place, but the good news, you're only gonna pay about €11 for 2 tinny Guinness. Number 7 is the Brazen Head. Not really the best Guinness to be paying €16 for a pair, but the beef stew was good. And last but not least, St. John Gogarty. Awesome live music, and the Guinness was on point. So, just wanted to give that to you. And yeah, we appreciate it. We love this place. So, there you go. You guys were the ones that we picked. So wow. That's for you. That's a trophy. Oh my god, yeah. We won. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, and it was a great time. Thank you. So yeah. Well, I'm glad they appreciated it. They said they were actually going to stick it up on the whiskey shelf somewhere, so I'm going to have to go back and see if it's still around. And there you have it. So if anybody out there is interested in doing our gallon of Guinness pub crawl, I'll throw a picture up at the end of the video and a description in the description box of YouTube. So thanks for sticking around and keep winging it. Oh, and one last thing. If you end up going to St. John's and Temple Bar, let me know if my trophy's still there.